A while ago, my orchids were doing okay, but they just weren't vigorous enough to put on those massive flower displays that they used to. So I had to find a new additive to add into my orchid care regime that would give them the boost that they needed, that was going to be easy to use, it was going to be inexpensive, and preferably not chemical. So molasses, let's have a look into that. And welcome to the Nature Company. If this is the kind of information you're interested in, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and that notification bell to be notified of all our upcoming videos so you don't miss out on a thing. So after finding John Hughes, who's a large commercial cattleya grower in Australia, I knew this molasses thing needed to be looked in a little bit deeper. Looking back through what the past had to offer, even though modern orchid growers have looked past these methods already, some even lambaste them, even though they've been tried and tested methods of growing for many decades. And often they've not even tried them out for themselves. And my orchids needed the boost, and I wanted them to show off all those beautiful blooms without sapping all the energy out of the plant itself. Taking over 50 years of organic growers' advice, I decided to go out and buy some of that blackstrap molasses for myself and give it a try. So I started adding molasses to my watering and feeding. I didn't have to tweak my schedule at all. I didn't have to change a thing. All I did was add molasses to the water. Was it really going to be as easy as this? I want my orchids to be strong and showy, and I don't want them to invite unwanted guests like ants and aphids and the dreaded fungi. I battle with these as much as it is anyway, so I try and avoid it at all costs. And the warnings I've got from the chemical growers is molasses will attract the ants and the sugar will grow fungi. Don't do it. After a lot of research, it appears molasses has a lot of potassium, calcium, magnesium and iron and other beneficial micronutrients. And not only that, they're all in a bioavailable form that is easily absorbed by our orchids. And the sugars, they turn out to be a food source for the beneficial microorganisms in the media that help the orchid fight off all those nasty ones. So it's a win-win. But let's go for the third win. Molasses has got other substances in it that act as chelators. These bind to the nutrients and make those more available to the plant. So after adding molasses to my orchid care regime, we can see the blooming potential of my orchids. The fast-growing orchids, especially like vandas and mokaras, that like to have those nutrients available to them quickly so that they can keep growing, I'm getting double and triple flower spikes on them as opposed to just a single. And my cattleyas are also very thankful too. And since having added molasses to my orchid care regime, my orchids have been strong and healthy with no pest increase. In fact, they seem to be less prone to attacks by aphids and mealybugs and by fungus, especially those fungal blooms in those cooler, wetter periods when the fungus really likes to grow. We seem to have had less of an effect on them. And now molasses is an integrated part of my orchid care. It's so easy to use. Just by adding it to the water, I can spray it on the leaves or water it in through the pot, and with the nutrients being so bioavailable, they're absorbed either through the leaves or through the roots, and they make the world of difference. And it's especially helpful in alleviating transplant or translocation shock, like when you've just bought a new orchid and brought it home. Also, it's a good quick feed for those orchids that are coming out of their winter dormancy, just to give them that vibrant boost that they need to really set off their growth well. Adding molasses to your fertilizer is especially beneficial. it's those chelators that it has. Adding it to your compost tea, milk, Epsom salts, liquid fertilizers, even your balanced chemical fertilizers increases their effectiveness. To use molasses, I use 1 teaspoon of blackstrap molasses, to 1 liter of lukewarm water. I put that in a jar. Shake it up until the molasses is dissolved, and if I'm fertilizing at the same point, I'm going to be putting my fertilizer concentrate straight into that water. And voila, so easy, but not really. You can overuse molasses. The sugars will build up in your media. It will make the media more acidic, and in it becoming more acidic, it's going to deteriorate faster, and that is going to bring in all those bad bacteria and fungi that you don't want in your media. So remember, flushing. Flushing is a very important part to keep all those, not only excess salts, but excess sugars out the media. And always remember to stick to recommended quantities. It's best practice. And there's a whole lot more to cover when it comes to molasses, like its insect repellent qualities, the Brix levels in the sap of the plant when you've been using molasses, the ant repellent qualities, insecticidal properties. But there's a whole lot more research that needs to be done into both sides of this argument. So let's leave it there until I can understand it better. But as of now, molasses is like my little miracle wonder additive. And thanks for watching. If you found any of this information helpful, please hit that like button. If you haven't already, subscribe down below and hit that notification bell, bing bong, to be notified of any of our upcoming videos so you don't miss out a thing. Help us grow as we help your orchids grow. And the weather's rolling in. Rain is on its way.